I've seen some weird and wonderful things in this job, but nothing prepared me for these guys. And when you see the Lizard Man, Stalking Cat, the Horn Man and their mates in action, you'll understand what I mean. They call it body modification, but that's the understatement of the year. It's total transformation. They're not satisfied with a few tattoos, spiky hair and an earring. This is the real thing. Real whiskers, real horns, a real forked tongue. No masks, no makeup, no tricks. It's living art, they say, the ultimate in self-expression. Or maybe the ultimate 21st century freak show. Venice Beach in Los Angeles is world famous for its people watching. A promenade full of colourful and shady characters who'll try anything to grab your attention. But today, there's only one show in town. A fully fledged freak known as Stalking Cat.
Look at the tiger, mijo.
One of the most heavily modified people in the world.
You're decked out, huh?
It's not a mask or makeup, no costume, no Hollywood special effects.
Think it's a masterpiece?
It's a masterpiece. I mean, all of it. I read about it. I've seen all the skill. Yeah, very cool. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. It looks great.
This is for real. Head-to-toe tattoos and a fully reconstructed face render this feline transformation permanent. Even those whiskers are surgically attached.
I have tiger-type teeth. My septum was relocated. My lip was cleft. There's been silicone injected in my upper cheek and or upper lip and cheek, and down in my chin to give a more cat-like profile.
Are you comfortable? It looks awkward.
No, not at all.
No. It feels right.
Yeah.
This is about as far as most people would dare to go to modify the body they were born with. A permanent stamp of individuality. Okay, I admit it. I'm not even prepared to get the real thing done. But for some, a simple tattoo or piercing is never going to be enough. Nowhere near it. Brace yourself for the human form as you've never seen it. This is the new frontier. Full body tattoos, piercings through every body part imaginable, deliberate scarring, and three-dimensional implants under the skin.
Body modification is the ability to take your inner soul and your inner self and express it to the world around you through the ability of manipulating your canvas.
Real big deep breath in.
If body modification is an art form, then Steve Hayworth is a modern master.
So bend your arm for me.
In a makeshift surgery at his home in Arizona, he transforms thousands of individuals, helping them find their inner freak.
Oh my God.
Remarkably, he has no formal medical qualifications and is entirely self-taught.
My tools that I use, I invented, I made, I designed, because there are no tools in the medical industry to do the kind of work that I do.
What is the difference between plastic surgery and the body modifications that you do?
Well, plastic surgery is modifying the body towards what society considers normal. My art form is extreme individualism. Making you look more like everyone else is absolutely against everything that I do.
Our strange journey is only just beginning. If you thought the cat was feral, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. The streets of Austin, Texas, motorists share the road with a green man riding a scooter.
I am a freak. I am definitely a freak.
This is the Lizard Man.
If people stare at something, they stare at something because it's interesting. You know, people stare at the Grand Canyon, they stare at Mount Rushmore, they stare at the Eiffel Tower, they stare at beautiful architecture, they stare at masterpiece paintings, and they stare at me. I'm in pretty good company.
And there's plenty to stare at. a full body transformation of man into reptile. The stunning result of a lifelong obsession, and he's not finished yet.
Now, what you got is about 700 hours worth of tattooing. It was all over my body, the front and the back. I've also had Teflon implants placed on my forehead to create the horned ridges over my eyes. I've also had my teeth filed down to points. And of course, my tongue has been bifurcated.
How much has all this cost you?
I don't really have a good money total on cost, but sort of the insurance estimate of retail value is right around $250,000.
As they say, you look $250,000.
Thanks.
Long before his blood turned cold, Lizard Man was simply Eric Sprague, growing up in what he calls a typical American sitcom family. And despite appearances, he leads a pretty normal life for a reptile, happily married to wife Megan.
And what do you think of him? Well, when you look at him?
I look at him and I see the man that I love. I see my husband. But every now and then the light will catch him just right, and it's like Michelangelo or something.
So it's a love story.
It is. It really is. It's a traditional girl meets lizard sort of love story.
The little green man, the freak of nature, the lizard man.
Lizard Man's transformation has now become his livelihood, the basis of a unique sideshow.
Are you ready for a show?
Everybody's mom, when they were a kid, pretty much told them don't run with scissors at one time or another because they were worried that something horrible was going to happen. They were worried they'd come home and they'd find the kid looking kind of like this.
Yeah, right.
But this actually isn't the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, if you're running around with scissors, is that they'll actually fly directly back into your skull completely like this.
Lizard Man travels the world, performing these tricks for a paying audience. Somehow, it's made him a wealthy reptile. But just a sample was enough for me.
For my next trick, I will attempt to make Peter disappear using this giant corkscrew.
Gone. That's enough. That's enough.
Next stop, a bowling alley in suburban Phoenix. There's not a tattoo or piercing in sight. The only body modification here are plenty of extra kilos around the waists of the locals.
Nice job.
But tonight, they're sharing their lanes with a modified freak, Luis Sanchez, infamous for having the biggest horn implants on the planet. The locals have never seen anything like it.
How long have you had this?
Going on 10 years. This is the best one.
Oh! You're funny. Oh, this is wild. I've never seen. You're impressive, I gotta say.
Thank you.
You really are.
How would you feel if one of your kids came home?
I'd kill him. I'd kill him.
This is the best one.
Oh my God.
Is it hard to meet girls?
No, I actually have a girlfriend.
Is she heavily modified as well?
No, not really. I don't go out looking for extreme tattooed girls. I tend to date the girls that kind of look girl next door.
You don't look like the boy next door, but you like the girl next door.
Exactly.
In fact, Louis was once the boy next door himself, growing up on a farm in Wisconsin. But one day he dyed his hair to try something different, and he never looked back.
You proud of this man's horns?
Oh, hell yeah. He's
Now he's another of Steve Hayworth's creations, a work in progress.
When you look in the mirror, what do you see coming back at you?
Horn-wise, they're not big enough. They still seem like they're half-inch, the small size, so I want to get them bigger.
the way polite society reacts to my art form pleases me immensely.
You like it when people go, whoa.
Well, you know, when you shake someone up a little bit, it's a memory that goes with them for the rest of their life. And, you know, if I'm partly responsible for, you know, kind of burning something into that individual's brain for the rest of their life, then I got something accomplished.
But Steve Hayworth's work has disturbed some in the medical profession, who believe what he does is not just modification, it's mutilation.
Nobody's ever died from body modification. Nobody's ever been seriously hurt from body modification.
But you're cutting into people's skin. Isn't there a chance you could damage a nerve?
There is a possibility that a small amount of nerve damage could take place.
For a doctor to do what you do would be illegal.
Yes, he would lose his license.
The difference is Steve is not allowed to administer any sort of anaesthetic. If you want his services, be prepared to bite the bullet.
Just get it in.
And tonight, Steve's wife Cookie is biting hard.
It's a big implant that I'm gonna force into a small hole.
She's getting a silicone star implanted under the skin in her forearm. Remember, there's no anaesthetic. It's a short and bloody affair, but after a few minutes, she's modified.
All done?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
That's the star.
After a few minutes, endorphins kick in, and yeah, you feel like Cloud 9.
When will you come off Cloud 9?
Tomorrow morning when I feel like somebody beat me up with a baseball bat.
Extreme pain, huge expense, and what looks like permanent disfigurement. It all leads me to the most obvious question of all: why on earth do people do this?
People want to know why. They want a quick soundbite answer. They want to know. The fact of life is there are no easy answers.
It's the fairest question of all. When it's the question everyone wants to know the answer
Right,
to.
yeah. I mean, why didn't you do it? The simple fact of the matter is the way that I want to look is a lot different than the way a lot of other people want to look. That just happens to be me.
But Stalking Cat says more mystical forces drive him to look and act like a furry animal.
But you even purr too.
Oh, yeah. Makes the kitties feel a lot better.
As a Native American, he started his body modification as a spiritual quest to get closer to his Indian totem, his animal symbol, the tiger.
See, they love you, don't they? You're at home and they're at home. Whoa! Cat.
It is a part of a journey to get closer to the spiritual and emotional aspect of the cat, which are my totems. They're my helpers. They're there when I need them, and it really has helped in getting closer to who I ultimately am.
Okay, I'll just have to take the cat at his word. Louis's reasons are a little less complex. He loves the way he looks, nothing more, nothing less, and that's as philosophical as it gets.
Is it true your grandmother carries a photo of you in her wallet?
She does. My grandma's a barfly, and she's actually laminated the first picture I had with horns, and she takes it to the bar, and when she gets all trashed, she just brings it out. She's like, "This is my grandson."
And how do the other old ducks at the bar react to this as my grandson? I'm so proud of him.
I'm pretty sure they freak out.
What I've learnt from my modified friends is that no matter how outlandish it looks, body modification is only skin deep. Beneath the exotic exteriors, they're really just a mixture of well-adjusted weirdos.
I'm the cliched American dream. I'm a self-made, self-employed, successful businessman, happily married, owns his own home, and is doing pretty well in life. You know, a lot of people could do far worse than to have my life.